Hi, Future Tawny here. I just finished this video and realized I didn't really put a trigger warning in this video, and some of the topics I do discuss in this video are very heavy, so I wanted to include this so you are aware that if these topics either too much for you, or you just don't feel like you'd be able to handle it at this point, or you just want that warning, I wanted to give that to you all. In this video, I do talk about the passing of a loved one. I talk about the pandemic, and all of those, actions involving that. There's some drama and some tea, so if you're not interested in that, just, and it's just involving my personal life. It's nothing that heavy, but I just want to let you guys know of that. There's also talk about the vaccine, so if that's something you're not comfortable with or you don't want to hear, please just skip this video, find something else to watch. I really don't want to put you in a place where you're uncomfortable or you don't feel like you're welcome here, because I don't want that to be the case on my channel, but I also want you guys to know what you're getting yourselves into, so whenever this happens, you're not like suddenly hit that like, oh my gosh, this is too much, you know what I mean? So those are the topics I will be discussing today. If that's too much for you, please click off, and if not, continue watching. Hey everyone, it's Tawny. I wanted to film I'm a little out of breath. Wanted to film a get ready with me so I could talk about some things with you all. A lot of things have happened in the month of October that I want to discuss with you all. And I thought, what better way than while I'm doing my makeup for today. Have a lot going on today. Didn't think it would be this chaotic of a day, but here we are. I thought I could sleep in because I've been sleeping really bad the last week. And the construction workers that have been in my town for the last couple months decided today was the day, which they've been doing it multiple days, so it's just like they picked today to do a little bit of random work, and then they'll go to a different spot a different day to work on the main road right outside my apartment. My apartment is in a setup where so the front of my apartment faces the back road where my driveway is. The back of my apartment, which is where my living room and kitchen are, face the main road, and they were doing work like directly outside, like on the main road outside my window. And I keep my bedroom door shut at night because if you don't know, I would call myself Fire Safety Tawny. That's not what if you don't know, but if there is a fire, you are safer to have your bedroom door or a door shut, so that way the fire doesn't reach you and you kind of have like a better chance of surviving the fire if your bedroom door is closed and like latched shut, not so much just like propped. You know how like sometimes like little kids like to have the door cracked? Well, you have to like have it like completely shut, but it will keep the fire from spreading into your room, and you might stand a little bit of a chance, like more so than if the fire were just raging throughout your place, your house, your apartment, your condo, whatever it may be that you're living in. So I started doing that mainly because I'm a little like paranoid at nighttime. That was the main reason on my old apartment I did that. But then once I found out about the fire stuff, I was like, well, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about my paranoia, that I decided to do this to keep myself safe and protected, and also keep myself safe and protected. You know what I mean? Does anybody else, whenever they start doing their makeup, especially after like being on a hiatus of not putting on makeup, end up with like their nose is running the whole time, and then like whenever you like go around this area, you just get snot everywhere? Yeah, I know it's gross, but like I can't be the only one that happens to. I went in with the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. I've been liking it, but I'm still like new to it, so I can't really like say if it's good or not. And then I'm using the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation, just the plain one, not the activewear one, just because like this one I know will work for me for today. I have a lot going on today. Yeah. The way I said it sounded kind of weird. I have a job interview this afternoon for the Department of Social Services for a really exciting position. I'm not quite sure what the position will like entail, like what I'll be doing within the position, but I figure it's kind of one of those you get hired and then you can kind of like move around within the agency, because that's my cousin works there, and she had kind of told me like if you don't like a specific position, tell management and they'll kind of like get you rearranged to somewhere that you might like better, that you might be more well suited for. So that was kind of the plan, the course of action. You know what I mean? Like, just figure it out. I had applied for a position, and I'm not sure I discussed this because so much has been happening the last month that, like, I don't know what I've told you guys and what I haven't. I had a job interview over a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago, and that went really well, and I got a second interview there. That position would be good because it would be a better networking position for me. Like, I would get to know other programs in the area. It would help me, like, say in a couple years I don't want to do this job anymore, or I want like further advancement kind of a thing. This is one of those jobs that would allow me to do that, whereas the one at the Department of Social Services is not quite that. Like, it wouldn't do that as much. Like, I would just be moving around in the agency there, which that's not a problem. And I feel like it would, like, I would learn a lot there, but it might be, you know, it's just kind of like a pros and cons, trying to figure out which one, because my mom was like, watch, you'll get your second interview with this new place, and then you'll hear back from them, because they've been getting back to me very quickly, whereas Department of Social Services, I have been applying for jobs for them for the last, like, 18 months or so, like, give or take, since last May of 2020, and this is the first time I've gotten an interview, even though I'm in, like, the most, like, I have my degree, I have the experience, not that, like, I'm not great at the job, but I have the experience enough that, like, if they were to hire people or, like, do interviews, I would be one of the first ones picked for the interview. So they kind of, like, that's been kind of on hold. So I've been looking for, you know, this new job for the last, you know, year and a half now. And so I got both interviews, and Mom said, watch, you'll hear back from the first one that you've already, like, for the second interview type job, and then you'll accept it, and then, like, a week later you'll hear back from the Department of Social Services job, and that'll be the one that you want, but you've already accepted the job elsewhere, so then it'll kind of, like, you know, be chaos. Now I'm going in with the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in Fair Porcelain, and in the Maybelline Superstay, I am 112 Natural Ivory. So I'm kind of excited either way. Part of me wants the local management, which that's kind of like what it's called, local management board. They help children and families get access to care within the school system and just kind of like health system in general. More so about educational needs than like health needs. But if the health needs are kind of like interlapping with the educational needs, then they also like provide that support. And that kind of seems similar to what I would do. So that's kind of the job I'm like leaning toward, because I just feel like the Department of Social Services job might be like a harder job. In all honesty, like it might be just more difficult and like taxing on me, and not saying like I'm lazy or I want an easy job, but just like when I've gone from a job where I like don't really do much, the pandemic really like hit our job. Like we haven't been able to do home visits. That's what like my main job is, home visits. I haven't really been able to do that. So I'm hoping for the best. Just going to go into this interview, and it's like a panel interview. So I'm like super nervous because it's like a good state job, and they're going to be like, how would you handle this situation? And how would you deal with this? And I just kind of like, I'm just hoping for the best. I'm in a good mindset for it, but I'm also kind of like, it's all over the place with everything going on. Today I am going out of town with my sister and my mom. My sister had gotten tickets to see Harry Styles back in like February, I think, for her birthday, February 2020, I have to specify. She got these tickets way back then by a friend of hers who bought those tickets, and they were going to go together. Well, when everything happened with the pandemic, the concert was put on hold and postponed. So now the concert is happening tonight, and it's like 2 hours away, which is like the closest place we could go see Harry. And my sister was like, hey, so-and-so can't go. Would you like to go? And I'm always up for like a good concert. Part of me is a little bit like, about going to a concert in general right now, considering the fact, we'll get into that in a little bit. But, so we're going to that later. So we're leaving like right after my interview, going to do that. I couldn't reschedule the interview, and I was afraid that if I like canceled it, that they would like not, like if I tried to say, hey, I'm not able to attend today, I have something else going on, that maybe they'd like, you know, but I'm worried that they won't consider me like beyond this point. So I'm just trying to like, you know, cram it all in at once. And I think we'll have enough time. It shouldn't be too bad. But, so I'm excited for the interview, excited for the concert. I had gotten tested twice just to make sure that like the test dates would add up with what they're looking for at the concert, which I'm still not sure about because it's kind of weird. Like they want you to have your results within 48 hours, but in order to do that within 48 hours, I wouldn't get my results back by the concert. That's kind of the problem. So I got tested Friday in case Mondays don't come back soon. And then I got Mondays and they came back late last night. So I have to go today to get them printed because I don't have a printer at home, which that kind of like, that's, you know, that's great that you have to have it printed. You can't just like, here's the website, you know, like it's on the website. It has my name. You can see my ID right in my hand. Like, but you know, they're trying to be safe and I totally understand. So I'm going to work with it. I'm just kind of like nervous that I'll get there and they'll be like, sorry, you're not coming in. You have to sit out with your mom. Like you're not going to this concert. So I got tested, both came back negative, which I kind of assumed, but you never know. Because like you could be asymptomatic and be in contact with someone, which I kind of had been, but it's kind of a long story. So, so crossing our fingers that we actually get in. If not, we'll have a story to tell. And I will probably film that video to tell you all. I was hoping to do if you have been following my channel for the last, you know, since beginning of October, I have been filming these Halloween looks that I found like inspiration on Instagram, and I have been using these looks like just kind of as a basis to like, I've been kind of like recreating the look essentially. That's what it is. And I was really excited about it, was really eager to like get into stuff for November. And then I had an incident with a family member that kind of has derailed that. So I'm thinking that October is kind of just getting like, I'm not going to have as many fun Halloween videos. I mean, clearly I've had a no makeup nonsense bingo video. I've been doing this. My Halloween look videos have been delayed whenever I've been able to actually upload them and like film them, honestly, because I haven't had time to film them because you're putting on makeup and I just haven't had time to like sit down and put on makeup, which I love doing that, but I just haven't had that time, which is unfortunate, but it happens. That was the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer, and now I'm going in with the Saucy Mauve Butter Blush from Physicians Formula. So, last Thursday, well, I guess I should take you back. If you are not aware, I had posted a video, which is now taken down because I didn't want to keep that video up considering what has happened. I had gotten sick with the C word after coming in contact with my dad, and I recovered after a week, no big deal, everything was okay. Well, I got sick a week after he did, and after almost 2 weeks, my mom took him to the hospital because he wasn't eating, his oxygen levels had gone down really low, and mom was just worried. And mom's a worrier, so, I mean, she would have taken him if he had, like, sneezed the wrong way. Like, she's just, but we're not the type to, like, take advantage of the emergency room or, like, go, like, if we're sick, we're not the type to, like, go to the doctor about, you know, like, even with a cold, we don't go to the doctor, we just, like, handle it at home, which is what we were doing initially. We were just, like, quarantining and just, you know, staying away from home. Like, I was staying away from home and not coming in contact and all of that. So then, right as I was getting sick, mom took dad to the hospital, and over time, things got worse and worse, and last Thursday, he passed away of pneumonia and the C word. It was like combined. And so that's why I'm a little bit nervous about going to this concert. I feel kind of like a hypocrite for going to it, considering everything that's happened, because like that should be like our wake up call that like, hey, you shouldn't be going because this happened to your dad. Like, don't you see what the risks are of this pandemic? And I, in my previous video, had posted that I was not vaccinated. I wasn't initially planning to get it just for like personal beliefs. You know, I'm not saying anything bad if you get it, not saying anything bad if you don't get it. That's your personal opinion. And I just kind of would like to stick with that, that's just, it's on you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay if you're not, you know, like that's you're going that route and I'm going my route, and that's perfectly okay. Well, with everything that has happened, I have definitely decided to go and get vaccinated. So for those of you that are like, how dare you not be, didn't you see this? Yes, I saw this and I'm going to take the precautions. I had it and got lucky that I didn't get sicker like my father, but I have seen that like it can get to that point and so quickly, and just like that. He was in the hospital for a year, or no, a month. I'm kind of glad it wasn't a year, because that would have been a long year for my mom, because she was there every day. But he was there for a month between regular admission and the ICU. And then, and that was kind of like as far as he went. But, so yeah, I've definitely seen that, like, what can happen. And it sucks that, like, it takes this sort of thing for you to realize that, like, hey, you should go do this, or like, hey, it is serious. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I didn't realize that up until recently, which is so unfortunate. And I wish that, like, it hadn't been that way. Maybe he would still be here if he had seen that, like, this stuff can actually happen. I got some brow mascara on my cheek, and I'm trying to not have that. But it blends right in with the pimple next door, so. But my dad was not vaccinated, which my mom is upset about, but he made his decision, and he was a grown adult. Like, you know, she can't be, like, I keep telling her, you can't be mad about this. He made up his mind. He made his own choices. He was a grown adult, like, but it's just unfortunate that, like, maybe things would have been different had that not been the case. So I am trying to take the precautions to not get in that situation myself. So I am going to go get it. I've decided next week I'm going to go get it and start the process. I'm using the ABH and Amrezy highlighter. It's like one of my favorites. And I haven't used it in a while because I've been using the iced out one, which is sitting right here because they sit side by side on the shelf. But, so yeah, so I don't want any criticism on this video about any of my decisions, about anything that's happened. I don't want to hear any negativity. If I do, you'll be blocked. Your comment will be deleted. Like, this is not what this video is for. I don't want to have to deal with that while I'm, like, dealing with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't want that right now. So that's kind of, you know, like, well wishes are, you know, greatly appreciated, prayers, all that sort of thing, whatever you believe, you know, I'll gladly take that. Like, sorry it's happened kind of a thing, like, sure, you know, no big deal. But I just don't want to hear anything that, like, you know, maybe if he was vaccinated, you know, you should have been vaccinated sooner. Like, I don't need to hear any of that, because that's not going to fix anything. Like, it's not like saying that is going to, like, reverse things, you know what I mean? Like, I've come to terms with it. So, like, you know, let me, you know. So, we're having a viewing in the funeral on Saturday, and it's currently Thursday, and I'm dreading it. I have only been to 2 and or 3 viewings, and I've only been to 2 funerals. I've been to a Catholic funeral, but I didn't know the woman. So, like, she was like my cousin's grandma, but on the other side. So not related to me, but related to my cousin, if that makes sense. Like, on her dad's side, and her mom is related to me. So, what palette am I going to use? I'm all over the place, and I apologize. But it's been one of those weeks. It's been one of those, like, months, honestly. I'm going to use the Dominique Latte palette, the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, because I need to do a nice plain look for my interview. I wanted to do glitter with my Tati Beauty palette, like one of those really nice glitters, but I can't wear that to an interview, and I don't feel like doing my makeup in the car by packing all of this stuff to do my makeup. So I'm just going to try and look nice and just, you know, I'll be fine. It'll work out. You know, I'm not concerned that, like, it's just to see Harry. We'll be in the dark with, like, all these, you know, spotlights and stuff on him. Like, what are people going to be looking at me for? So, and this is the cute little top I'm wearing to both of those. Got it at Kohl's. It's a nice, like, I think it's like Candies or So or something. One of whatever those brands are that's sold in the junior section. But it has one of these cute, like, flares to it. So it's really cute. I have to wear high-waisted pants so it covers. But, so you're not seeing my stomach. Like, because it's sort of croppy, but just, like, the way it sits is kind of croppy. But, so yeah. So we've been dealing with all of that. I'm dreading the funeral process because I have come to terms with it. It will be like a week and a half between when he passed and when the funeral is, and I've come to terms with everything that's happened. I wish it weren't that way, I kind of keep thinking like it's not real, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't say I'm in denial because I fully accepted that this has happened, but I just keep thinking like, well, he's gonna like walk by, he's gonna call, like he'll like, it's fine. But it's like, no. And maybe the funeral will like push that, like make me understand that more. I've taken some death and dying classes, so I've kind of like I know the whole processes of grief. I know the whole 5 steps. I know like all of what to expect, kind of like from my perspective, from my mom's perspective, from like outsider family members, from friends. Like, I'm kind of, you know, I'm a social worker. I had a client pass away. She was 2. I had a client pass away that I just kind of like heard about in passing, not so much that like I was present. It was just kind of like I saw that she had passed, and that was kind of, so I've been helping the mom and dad deal with that. But it's definitely been a rough time, you know, dealing with all of that this past week. I've been okay here and there. My boyfriend's been really great with all of this. I don't want to cry. I'm trying to do my makeup. You can't cry when you're wearing makeup because then your makeup will not look that great. But my boyfriend's been really helpful. My friends have messaged me. I made a post on Facebook because like you have to, and everyone on Facebook's been so nice. People that like normally wouldn't comment on my stuff have like been commenting on this. So that's appreciative. My post didn't directly say like, hey, you're dead. But a friend of mine was like, hey, so how's your dad doing? And I'm like, are you a moron? Like, I understand it might not have been super clear, but like you see the sorry for your losses and you can't grasp that. So that kind of like, I've been angry. I've been sad. I've, you know, cried a good bit. I've hoped that it would get better. I haven't reached the anger stage, which I've been prone to get angry a lot. So I'm like kind of surprised I haven't hit that yet, but it will get there, I'm sure. So I'm doing okay. I think the funeral will like be that tipping point for me. I'm like dreading it because for one, I feel like I'm okay. I'm probably not. And this will like make it official that like, you know, I'll be like, come to terms, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen his sisters. I haven't seen my grandma, which she hasn't been doing well, like mentally. She, I think, has like dementia or something like that. And she's been forgetting things for like 5-10 years now. So it's kind of just become grandma. It's not that like, oh my gosh, she's like not grandma. It's like, no, this is what grandma does. Like, we're used to this. But I haven't seen them since this happened. I haven't seen any of like the aunts, like his aunts, that would be my great aunts. I haven't seen any of them to see like how they're taking it, how they're handling it. I have to then see them for them to be like, I'm so sorry. And like, you know, which that's the hardest part, that like, I just kind of want that to be over with so that it can just like, it's already happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go through that whole, like the initial, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of just, I'm like waiting for it to be over at this point. So yeah, it's been rough, but we're doing okay. I mean, we're handling it. We're dealing with it. So it'll, you know, things will happen when they happen, and it'll pass, and we'll start to move on. And, you know, not that like moving on is like the right answer, but just for us to feel better, we'll be moving on and like moving forward. My grandma had told me when my mom's dad passed away, which I wasn't close with him at all. So it was more just like seeing everyone sad made me sad, more so than like I was sad, because he didn't really like me that much. I wasn't the favorite granddaughter, and kind of had a lot of resentment. So I wasn't really like sad. But my grandma had told me then, my dad's mom had told me then that like keep thinking about the future, and like, you know, think about the memories you had, but like focus on the future, and that'll help you get through it. And I know that's not what she's going to want to hear on Saturday, because she's already had one son pass, and this will be number 2, which the first one passed when he was 12, like 50 years ago. So and grandma's still like dealing with that, you know, herself. But she just kept saying like, focus on the future, and, you know, you'll get through it okay. And that's been helping me a lot to think that way. So I might try and like instill her own magic on her, but I don't want her to like think she can't be sad, because like obviously you're going to be sad. Like, she's allowed to feel that way. Does this look okay for an interview? I don't look too flashy. I think I look okay. We'll put mascara on and fix that. In my last like Halloween video, let me rip this hair out. Yeah. I forgot to put mascara on. The look didn't really like, her look didn't show that she really had any or even false lashes. And then I forgot. And it wasn't till after I'd taken the makeup off later that evening that I was like, well, crap, I didn't put mascara on. So I'm going to have to like comment and or put like a description like, sorry guys, I just totally blanked because it didn't look like she had it. And then I like never thought to put it on. And mascara is one of those I can easily forget. Oh no, it got on my eye. They say let it dry and then flake it off. That never works for me. I have to say that never works for me. I'm using the Essence Lash Princess mascara, if you couldn't tell, because I want big lashes. They're not like inappropriate lashes, so it's fine. But I want big bold lashes. But yeah, so I forgot. And oh, like I was saying, mascara is one of those things that's like easy for me to forget, but then it like ruins my day that I've forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an easy thing to just skip over and just forget about because you've already done your eyes, that like doing mascara is just like an afterthought kind of a thing. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. It's been one of my favorites lately, and I'm like really, really excited. Like, I like using it. Like, I get excited to use it. I know that sounds stupid, but like, I just really like the setting spray. It doesn't smell good, but it just feels nice. But, yeah, it's one of those that, like, it's a day ruiner, but it's so easy to forget that, like, you know, you could prevent your day from being ruined, but you forget, and then your day gets ruined, and it's like, I thought I had new lip products. I think, oh, I do. I bought some new fall lip products after watching an Emily Noel video, and I kind of want to put some on. They're kind of deeper tones, but I think that like as the day progresses, they'll kind of like fade out. I had to like really track these down online. Some like were on different websites than others. I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon in Stop at Nothing. And it looks like this. It is pretty deep. I think I've used it once before. It kind of looks used, but we're going in with it because I feel like it'll be neutral enough that it won't be like distracting. I don't want to look distracting in my interview. I don't want to come off as like I'm wearing too much makeup, or I just want to kind of look nice, you know, because I'm hoping to get, you know, I'm like trying to convince them, hey, I want this job. I'll look professional when I come to work kind of a thing. I haven't put on nice fancy makeup in a hot minute. I think that's a really nice fall look without being too deep. It doesn't look too like dark. It looks darker on camera. I got like a pimple thing on my lip, in the corner of my lip, that's been like really dry, and I can't stop picking at it, so it won't go away. So it's kind of just like I can see it, and then I'm like, oh, that's the lipstick. I'm like, no, it's your lip. Just leave it alone. Maybe by putting on makeup, it'll help it go away. Because, like, I found that if I have, like, pimples and I put on makeup, I stop messing with the pimples, so then they go away. Which I know is, like, terrible logic because, like, that's not how you're supposed to, like, treat your pimple. You're supposed to not coat it in more makeup or full coverage makeup. But that's the easiest way for me to not pick at it. So I put on makeup and then you know, it goes away eventually. Other news to share with you. Oh, the drama, the good drama. I got talking about all the stuff that happened with my family and I like got too serious, which is fine. You're allowed to get serious. But I have, you know, nice happy drama. So I was walking to my bedroom and I overheard the neighbors outside my window talking. Now, my apartment sits where my bedroom window is right above the back door. And my neighbors on either side of me aren't far away, that if they're talking outside, I hear everything. Like, if my window's open, hear it all. And I share my driveway with the neighbors to my right. Like, they also rent from the same landlord. They have a house where I have, like, a garage apartment. And they have the bottom half garage part, and I have the storage part. And then they use half the parking lot, like driveway, which they put like 20 cars in that thing, and it's only built for 2, but that's on them, not me. So I was walking up to my window and I heard talking, so I like stopped dead where I was and like put my ear up as close as I could to the window because I wanted to eavesdrop, because this was like stuff I've been like wanting to know the deets on for weeks now, like months, you know, almost a year, because I've been here almost a year. Well, since the grass started growing again, because this is an issue with mowing. So I heard some girl, I can't tell if it was the like a daughter or the mom, because I have like 3 daughters, a son, and then mom and dad. So I heard a girl and or the woman talking about how our landlord, I don't want to give names, how our landlord had contacted them or like stopped by and asked them who was mowing the grass. Now at my apartment, the next door neighbors have to mow the grass. They're in charge of keeping the uptake of the grass, mowing, weeding, all of that sort of thing. I just deal with like my driveway, my patio, the front entrance by my front door, and that's kind of it. Like, if I want to plant something, sure, just have to check with the landlord, like, but they're in charge of mowing the grass. And there's a strip between my part of the driveway and the neighbor on the other side of me that's like this, it's kind of just like a rectangle type, but it's pretty big, but it's not that big considering how much they have to mow otherwise. Like, they have a backyard, and then our front yards, my side yard, that's like 2 strips, like up and down, and that's kind of it. And then the side yard, and the side yard kept getting like left, like the neighbor wouldn't mow it. He wouldn't come around the side of my apartment. So anything, that 2-way strip and then the rectangle never got touched. And the 2-way strip, there's so much weeds, like they're like the big tall weeds like along the side of the building that it's not that big a deal. So I just kind of let that go because I never go out that way. It's further than where my patio goes, so I don't really like, I don't bother. I don't mind. It's still annoying because I don't have to deal with it. So the fact that he's not kind of annoys me because then I have to deal with it. So I just let that go because you pick your battles, and that's what I've been telling myself this whole time. So then the strip kept not, it was like just being left. And the guy was outside one day when I was pulling up with my boyfriend, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I am going to mow that grass. I'm not like ignoring it." He said, "I just wanted to wait till there was a good time to do it because construction people had come and dug up the next door neighbor's gas line. So there was hay everywhere, which kind of then went into my yard just because it's hay." And I'm not blaming the next door neighbor, not blaming the gas company. I mean, I kind of am, but like, it's hay. Like, I don't care. It's not bothering me. I don't need the grass for anything. Like, it's not like the hay is inconveniencing me in any way. Moving on. So then he says, "I was going to wait until the hay grew up and then your car wasn't there so that way I didn't hit your car." And I'm like, "Dude, the grass needs mowed. Just do it whenever." And I was just like, "No, it's fine. Like, just whenever you can get to it." And I was trying to be nice because he was kind of giving me every excuse as to why he wasn't mowing the grass. So then that kind of gave me the hint that like, he's just being lazy. He doesn't want to do it. Like, this isn't my problem. And with me not having to mow the grass, it is not my problem. Like, it's mainly just like, "Hey, landlord, they're not doing it, fix it." You know, like that's, and tell them to do it or you come do it. Like, it was just kind of at that point. And I was just trying to let it go. After what I dealt with my previous apartment, I'm trying to be the nice neighbor. I'm trying to be the victim. And not play the victim, but actually be the victim. I'm trying to be the person that like, this unfortunate stuff just happens to. Not, I'm bringing it on myself. Because at the old apartment, I was kind of the enemy. I was like the hated one in the building. Not with the next door neighbors, because they were nice. There were 2 apartment buildings. The other building, they were nice. We kind of got them on our side, me and the ex. But, so I was just like, I don't want to be the enemy. I don't want to be the bad guy. My aunt lives down the street. I know the neighbors that live on the other side of her. So I kind of know the area. I know a couple other like older people that live. We have like a block. There's 2 streets that have different houses. And it's kind of like a nice little close-knit neighborhood within our own neighborhood, which is pretty small as it is. So I didn't want to be the bad guy. I didn't want to be the one. They're already known for like the bad people because they can't park. They have too many cars. It's just, nobody likes them on our street. So I was trying to just let them be the bad guys. So the one day the kid was mowing, and I heard him mowing, watched him out my front window. He never came to the side. And I was going to text the landlord and be like, "My grass is really high. Do you want me to deal with it? Because next door is not." And just kind of just be like, "I can deal with it if you want me to." My dad was willing to mow when he was able. He was willing to come mow the grass for me. Like, if he had the mower out, because he mows for my mom's work. Well, did. But he mowed at my mom's work. So I would just say, "Hey, can you stop by and mow my grass and leave?" And he would just mow that little section and that, like, not the front. Because I was telling him, like, the neighbors are supposed to mow, so leave them the stuff that they mow. And just do this part because it was bothering me. Because it's gotten to the point that it was like knee-high grass. Like, I was worried snakes were going to start crawling out of my car. Like, It was like, don't step in the grass because you don't know what's in there. And I hate that it got to that point because that's kind of sketchy. Like, that's scary at that point because I don't like snakes. And snakes can bite you and you could die. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Luckily, I don't have children, but that kind of like, if you have kids, you can milk that for all it's worth. My neighbor did that. She didn't give a crap about her kid, but she would complain every time there was an issue. Oh, my kid could get hurt. You don't care about your kid, yet here you are using your kid as like, you know, for damages. Like, you can't, you know, you have to love your kid all the time, not just whenever it's convenient for you. So that's beside the point. Still have resentment, clearly. So I'm overhearing them say that the landlord stopped by one day while somebody was mowing and asked who does the mowing. And I couldn't quite understand like what they were saying. And then the guy wasn't talking loud enough for me to hear what he was saying. So I can only hear what the girl was saying without like looking out the window. I was trying to just stay like they couldn't see that I was listening. So I was just near the window, but they couldn't see me. That was the whole, I didn't want to get caught because then they'll stop talking, you know. So I had to be real sleuth about it and, you know, secretive. So they were saying something like the landlord was asking who mowed it. And they said, so-and-so is supposed to mow, but they're just being lazy. And I said, I knew it. That's why the grass wasn't getting mowed. I called it. That is exactly why. Not because he didn't have time or because he couldn't for some reason. It was because he just didn't want to freaking do it. And I knew it. That's what I've been telling my mom, my sister, our friend, my boyfriend, everyone who comes over to visit when they say about the yard. And I've been telling them that the whole time. Even my dad. I complain to him about it all the time. So then they said something. They made it seem like the landlord mowed the grass. But I also think the neighbor mowed the grass. But they mowed it but didn't rake it. So it kind of has like all of the stuff sitting on top. Which usually that would be kind of the way the kid mows it. But I feel like they had to mow the grass twice. Because it was so high that it can like mess up your mower by being so high. Like you have to raise it to mow the top. And then lower it to mow the bottom, or weed it first, then mow it, because I've seen people do that. Watched my dad mow enough times that I know, even though I hate mowing grass, and I would never do it myself, but, so, moral of the story, it got mowed, and I didn't have to complain, but I was like, there was one day where he had gone like 3 mowings in a row, and he usually waits till the grass looks like horrific before he mows it. Not just like, oh, it's getting a little high. No, like he waits till it's like full on like crabgrass galore. Like it, and I'm not even exaggerating at this point. Like he seriously waits way too long to mow the grass. And I don't know why the dad just doesn't like crack the whip and like, dude, you need to go mow the grass. Like, hello, it's like we're gonna get in trouble with the landlord. He might charge us more like because we're not mowing, or we might get in trouble for not mowing. Like, you know what I mean? Like any situation, whatever, however the landlord would handle it, he might do something like that. And so I was about to text the landlord one day when it didn't get mowed. Well, when I thought it was not going to get mowed, that was the day, of course, it did. But I was just going to be like, hey, the neighbor's not mowing this section of the grass. If you need me to do it myself, no problem. My parents have one. I can just borrow it. Or my aunt and uncle live 2 houses down. I could just ask them if they could do it for me and I'll pay them a couple bucks. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't mind helping either. But I could just like, hey, I'll find somebody to do it myself. But then he mowed it and I was like, now I don't want to be mean. So I had to like bite my tongue and I just keep I always tell my boyfriend, I'm like, you just go into your house and complain about it. You don't actually do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just enough to bother you, but not enough to actually like, because after living at the old apartment, I've started to realize that you have to handle things as an adult, and hurting someone's vehicle or doing any kind of damages come back financially on you. And then you could get a record from doing that. You could get in trouble with the law. It's not worth it to have a little bit of petty vengeance. So I'm really telling myself, don't mess with their cars. You can put a little petty, passive aggressive sign out that says like, please mow me. Like, you know, like dumb little stuff. But I'm like, do not do anything that like they would have proof that like you messed with stuff, because that can get you in a lot of trouble. Because my mom and I are talking about things whenever I lived at the old place that I'm not going to mention, but that would have gotten me in some sort of like community service type trouble. Like just little things that I really had to like hold back. Like I always joke with my boyfriend, I am like a fist through the wall away from being Andy Bernard on The Office. I would never go on an a cappella singing show, but when I put my fist through the wall at one point. I did. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. At the old place, my fist went through the wall. It was an accident. But for realsies, I am like this close to doing that. And I always joke that like I'm Andy because my fist went through a wall. But yeah, so I overheard them talking about all of that. Somebody did mow. I don't know who. And I'm at this point that it doesn't matter. It got done. You know what I mean? I'm trying to really just, you pick your battles, you deal with it one step at a time. Whatever happens, happens. Like, you know, I'm just, after being the bad guy for so long, after dealing with terrible neighbors and not really handling it the right way, after just feeling so helpless and hopeless that nothing was going to get resolved, I just don't, it was so much stress and crying and pain and just not even embarrassed. I wasn't even embarrassed. It was just like, I was so uncomfortable all the time. Didn't want to be home. Didn't want to go home because then you had to walk up the steps to go into your apartment. Didn't want to be around. Didn't want them to be around because then I was like, oh, they're there. Like, I don't want to be at that point in my life anymore. I went through a full year of just being miserable that I just can't do it anymore, you know? Okay, I think this mascara has flaked enough. It has not. Whoever said you could just flake off your mascara like this, they lied. This doesn't look terrible, but it also doesn't look good. Tip did not work for me. It looks better, but I don't think it, like, I don't know. So yeah, so that problem has been fixed for now. I'm kind of hoping it's the last time it needs mowed, so then we just don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't want snow, but I just kill the grass. Like, it's fine. Just get rid of it, you know? Because I wanted to put yard signs, but then I'm like, what if I put a yard sign and then they don't mow? Or what if I put something in the yard and then they see that as like, I'm not going to mow because she put this in the yard. Or I'll mow around it. Like, they're known for mowing around stuff. And I'm always, like, I had a chair that sat on the corner of my patio that occasionally would get blown toward the yard, and I'm pretty sure like when they mow they just kick it and throw it aside, which it's a plastic Adirondack chair, so it kind of will get broken if you do kick it over. At least my metal one would be okay. It would just get it dented or like just tip or whatever, no big deal. But like the plastic Adirondack chair could get pretty bruised up. But they just shove things aside, and I'm like, all you have to do is just move it. I'll put it back later, or you put it back, or whatever. Like, just mow the grass. That's just kind of where I was at. Yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. It was definitely all over the place, very chaotic. I had a lot to talk about. I hope you like watching this. Get ready with me. I hope you enjoyed hearing what I had to say. A lot of the stuff wasn't, you know, cheery and happy. We ended on a good note. My grass got mowed, and I overheard some drama and some tea, which I kind of missed some of the tea, which, you know, whatever, but it's fine. But there were just some things I needed to talk about with you guys, some things I wanted to talk about, some things I felt you guys needed to know as fans, as followers, as people that are just really nice. Like, the comment section has been so nice. I know it will get to the point that it's not, and there will be people that come on that are not quite nice, but I just want to say thank you to those of you who are, because it really makes me happy when I see like nice comments or just like love watching your videos. Like, it makes me feel better. And I know a lot of like whenever I film, it's for me, but I also know that there are people watching, so I kind of like want to do stuff that you guys are interested in. So definitely comment down below what your favorite videos of mine are, if there's any suggestions for new things I can try, any challenges you want me to do, any makeup looks you want me to do. My Instagram link is down below if you want to check out my Instagram, and you can also send me things there as well. If you see like an Instagram, if you see a reel or a picture of a makeup look you want me to recreate or something, put that, you know, you can always DM me that. I'll check my DMs. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate you. Thanks for sticking with me through this time. I was really hoping that my Halloween schedule would get like, it would be a smooth, I'd be able to do everything. I could do multiple looks. Like, I could do a late in the month look early on and just save the video. I could film all the time, and I have had no time to film. So a lot of these videos have been pushed back. I've had to cancel videos. It's not the way I wanted it to go, but we have to deal with what we have. So that's where we're at. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for being here with me. I'm getting really stuffy because I need to blow my nose, and it's like just sitting there ready to like, ew, gross. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell down below so you get notified of when the next video gets uploaded, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.